Topping today's news, Prime Minister Davis arrives in Cuba for the G7 plus China summit. The new energy minister tours BPL's power station, and the Olympic Committee set to stage its elections on Saturday. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It is a pleasure to have you join us. Prime Minister Philip Davis is attending the summit of the Group of 77 plus China in Havana, Cuba. Prime Minister Davis arrived in Cuba this morning for the summit, which is being held under the theme, The Role of Science, Technology, and Innovation in Development. Some 134 world leaders representing 80% of the global population are meeting to build a new economic world order amid warnings of growing polarization. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres joined some 30 heads of state and governments from across Africa, Asia, and Latin America for the two-day summit. Cuba Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez said the meeting, which runs until Saturday, is set to issue a statement on the right to develop an increasingly exclusive, unfair, unjust, and plundering international order. Prior to the Prime Minister's arrival in Cuba, he hosted for 2 days President of the Republic of Botswana, Dr. Magwitsi Masisi, who was on an official state visit. The visit came to an end this morning as both the Prime Minister and Dr. Masisi are now in Cuba for that G77 China summit. On Thursday, Prime Minister Philip Davis, along with Dr. Masisi, held a joint closing press conference. President Masisi drew many parallels with the Bahamas, such as being a former colony of the United Kingdom and working against the blacklisting by international organizations. Prime Minister Davis said the state visit and collaboration of Botswana is a testament to the strength and commitment and potential for international relations. According to Prime Minister Davis, discussions were wide-ranging as they deliberated on mutual interests, particularly focusing on tourism, agriculture, and education. The Bahamas and Botswana signed a memorandum of understanding to establish bilateral political consultation. The new Minister of Energy and Transport, JoBeth Kobe Davis, along with Bahamas Power and Light executives, conducted a walkabout of the Blue Hills power plant this morning. Minister Kobe Davis, who began her duties this week, says she is taking the initiative to see all of BPL's facilities across the country following years of complaints from employees about their working conditions.
Yeah, it's actually my first time. I am happy that I was able to come and tour it. I wanted to make sure that I understand the conditions the workers are in and the job that they do on behalf of the Bahamian people, that I have a better and greater appreciation for it. And so I started my tours throughout BPL at the Blue Hills Power Station. I'm quite impressed with some of what I've seen. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that after I have some more conversations. It's been my first week, and it's been a heavy week. We have sat and had the first intro conversation with the union leader, Mr. Kyle, just so he can present to me what matters are still on the table and still pending. And so we're going through them one by one. One of my main concerns when I spoke with him was just health and safety, just because of the industry that I come from. That's a priority. It's always been a priority for us. And so I just want to make sure that we're cognizant of the concerns and we're taking them seriously. And so that was another reason why I wanted to do the tour.
Following the walkthrough, President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, BEWU, Kyle Wilson, says this is an incredible step in the right direction.
And so all we're asking for is a safe environment to work in. We ask that our benefits be respected, that our industrial agreement be respected. We're working along with also COO Tony Seymour, who is acting in the capacity of the CEO in his absence. And she has been nothing but a breath of fresh air for the union to work with. And we're moving forward. We may not make the steps in one leap, but we're making incremental steps to resolve the issues. And so because of that, maybe it's lowering the tensions around BPL. Workers are starting to feel upbeat again. And just to have the minister come, put on a hard hat, put on the boots, and walk along with the leadership and be willing to see firsthand. It's like a doctor, you know. You can't fix it just on sight or hearing. She has to come and see for herself, touch, and see what the workers are going through. Walk along with the workers walk and see what we do. And so she can prescribe the right, medicines, to fix the union's issues. And so it's a good start. And I like what I'm seeing so far in Minister Colby. You know, it's really a great start. It's something the union's been pushing for.
On September 1st, the BEWU held a strike poll, which resulted in a 99% yes vote. The union received their official strike certificate this past Wednesday, which means they can legally strike at any time. However, Mr. Wilson says BPL employees are willing to give Minister Colby Davis a chance to address their issues, but an impending strike is still on the table.
We have the tool in our hand, and we could use it, but you know, we still have to be sensible. When we have a leader that's willing to work with us, we ought to be sensible in how we deal with things. And so I'm more than happy to work with the COO, Tony Seymour, and Minister Davis, along the Labor Relations Unit, to solve all the issues here in BPL. Bear in mind, no one wants to strike. And I don't think anyone wants BPL to strike under these conditions we're suffering with unreliable power and high heat. All right? So even myself, I don't even want to strike. I want to go home to light myself and enjoy the modern amenities of air conditioning. But, you know, if it comes down to these type of things, the union is not afraid to do whatever we have to do to protect our benefits, protect our safety, and protect our standard of living.
Mr. Wilson said the workers' hearts are now softened, and he is very happy that Minister Colby Davis is serious about resolving the many issues at Bahamas Power and Light. Since the Davis administration took office, matters at Bahamas Power and Light have been a subject of national discussion, particularly with regards to the rise in electricity cost and the discontinued fuel hedge agreement left in place by the Minister administration. When asked on Thursday about the BPL union obtaining a strike certificate, Prime Minister Philip Davis says he is confident in Minister Colby Davis, who is the new minister responsible for BPL, now under her new portfolio as the Minister of Energy and Transport. The Bahamas Power and Light union members have voiced their concerns over a number of issues, from poor working conditions, pay increments, hazard pay, and other alleged violations of the industrial agreement. Union President Kyle Wilson says despite acquiring that strike certificate, again, they are willing to work with the new minister in search of a solution, but noted that, again, all options are on the table, including industrial action if need be. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.